Hello, all my stamping friends out there. I am Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and I am here for the fourth day of my 12 days of Christmas. I have a little box that has a treat that sits down in there, and I thought it was extremely cute and it's quick and easy. So you could use it for either candy as a treat, or you could use it as a gift giving box. So a lot of times you need something that's, say, small, like a bracelet or a necklace or something like that. And this is a small box that you could use for, like I said, treats, or you could use them for little gift giving. So I want to bring that to you, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's change the camera angle and let's get started. Sorry about that. A train is going by. So this is the little box that we're going to make, and this is in a little bag, and I've got those melt away mints inside here, and it's got a little tag on it that says Mary, and it's tied with our ribbon, and it just slides down in there. I have stamped on the outside of this and then embellished it with this little silver circle. It's from the Stylish Stitch Dies, and then did the stamping of the snowflake and cut that out, and that makes our little box. So I'm going to show you how to make this. So I'll put that right there. I'm going to try to stay on camera this time, because I know that a lot of times I get off camera. And let me grab my silver. I just put it away. I don't know why I did that, but I did. All right, so I cleaned off my desk from where I was crafting. All right, so this box is a box that is 7.5 inches by 4 inches. So let's double check. Yep, that's 4 inches. Let's open this up. And 7.5 inches. Okay, so on the 7.5 inch side, we want to score this at, okay, so at 1.5. So get my cutting blade out of the way. I've cut more things than I care to admit. So 1.5, and we're going to scoot it down to 3.5, I do believe. Let's see. Yeah, 3.5, and then at 5, and then at 7. And then we're going to turn this, and we're going to score at 1.5. And so I'm going to go off this other side because it's easier than trying to scooch it in. So I'm going to score it. This is 1 inch, and right here along this track is 1.5. So we want 1.5 inches on that bottom. So recap, this is 1.5, 3.5, 5, and 7. Turn it, and at 1.5 on the bottom. And that's all you have. So set that off to the side. I'm going to bring my scissors in. We're going to do some cutting. For the little section right here, that's a 1/2 inch section, we're just going to angle that edge there and then cut that full piece away. You don't have to angle too much. And I like to cut my score lines completely away. So there's no score line left there. And that's the only, well, a little bit extra trash when we do the mitering here. So we're going to cut on the right side of that score line and miter that away. Now I did do something else, but I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. I did do some scoring on these little tabs, but I think we can just do that by ourselves, of not having to score it. So I'm going to go on the right side of this score line here. Like I said, I like to cut the score line completely away. And you're going to take big bites, little bites, but you want to take the wedges out of the smaller tabs here. Oops. All right, now we're going to burnish on all of those score lines. All right, so we're going to fold the larger panels back. And we're going to just take about a third off. And it doesn't have to be a straight line, but I had scored them before, but I just figured we could just take some of it off. It will not show. I'm going to open that up and bring in some scratch paper here. And we're going to do our stamping. Now we're using the Delicate Pine stamp set. And I'm going to bring in all of these like that. And then we're going to grab this larger one. And up here are my inks. I'm going to use the Gorgeous Grape, I believe. And I'm going to stamp. You could do the lighter color if you wanted. Like that. And then I'm going to bring in our Versamark. And I'm going to stamp some of these around. And they're just going to pretty much be like a watermark. And then I need my embossing buddy. So I've stamped ink and Versamark. We want to run this embossing buddy over the whole thing. Like that. I'll close this up for now. And we're now going to stamp the smaller snowflake in the Versamark. There we go. Now I did these in silver and in gold before, but I just want to do silver this time. I'm going to dump my silver embossing powder, and I hope that I had the rest of it nice and treated so it won't stick to everything else. And you can do them all different. I'm doing mine different than the last couple that I've made. This back in. That. Now I'm going to grab a little paintbrush. Because I have some embossing powder where I don't want it. Even though I took a embossing buddy over it. Because I did both of them in the Versamark, I just wanted a watermark behind it. Even putting the embossing buddy over it, it did not keep it from sticking. I really don't want that. So you might take a heat gun to it before, after you do the embossing buddy, do a heat gun before you do the stamping of all the other. When I did it before, I must have waited long enough. I think that'll be close enough. You'll find out later whenever it gets actually embossed. So I'll close that up. Get the rest of this embossing powder put away. I like to have more than one sheet so that I can transfer and catch anything that I maybe missed. All right. So close those out. Take that out of the way. We're finished with those. All right, and then we can take the word Mary. And this is from, oh gosh, I can't remember the set, but I have several. I have this little word Mary. And then you want it on the end where the Y is, and you would want to stamp. And then use this die cut from the Words of Beauty is what I used. And you put it on there and cut it as a tag. And I already have one of those. And then also I stamped my snowflake in a light Highland Heather, and also in the Gorgeous Grape, and have a two-tone snowflake there. Look, focus, there we go. Isn't that really pretty? So there's that. So I think we are finished with all of this, and I will do the heat embossing. You want it on number 2, and you want to heat up. I still got it on those other snowflakes, but it'll be fine. Sometimes a little bit of stray embossing powder turns out pretty cool. And there are our embossing. This will be the back. We're going to cover most of it anyway with our image. Now then, I'll make certain that's dry. I'm going to fold this over like that, and we're going to grab some glue. And add glue to the little tab. Fold this over and meet that. Okay, so we know this is the back. So I want to flip it with the back facing me. And this back one we're going to flip in. And flip the other 3 out. I'm going to add glue to each one of these tabs that are still out. Whoops. I'm going to fold each one of these in, and then now this one. You want to square up your box. Then I'm going to take one of our glue bottles and press it like that. Now I have my silver piece here. I'm going to add my snowflake to the front of this. So I have my silver stitch shape. Add my snowflake right about there. And then add this to the front of the box. Like that. And then here's my candy bag. I'll put that in there. I already tied the bow just so I knew I had enough. And this is that sheer gold edged ribbon. I want to take my hole punch. I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to add a little dot to where I want to punch. That way it helps me to try to get it centered. So I put a little dot there. And then, whoops, I'm going to take and put the opening of my hole punch, or little plunger of my hole punch right on that. Punch it out, and the ink is gone. And then I have some twine here. I'll feed that through here. Bring our ends together. I know I don't need this much twine, it just makes it easier for tying the knot. So like that. Trim it away. Now I want to put this ribbon through the opening. I think I'm going to tuck it through. That way, maybe I can hide some of the little knot there. I'll tie it back in a bow. There we go. And both of the tails and pull. And you can hold that knot and pull on your little ends and tighten it back down. There it says Mary hanging off of there. Well, I don't like the way that bow is sitting. So this one's going to go that way. That will go around. I think I did it towards me. I like my bows to lay like horizontal instead of go up and down. There's my tag. There's my bow. That's pretty. And then we're going to see, there we go, I've got some rhinestones here. And there's my take your pick tool. And I think I'm going to take one of the middle ones, the middle size, put it right here in the center. And there is our little box. I thought that turned out so cute. So I hope that you enjoyed this and that you will give this little project a try. Like I said, you could put a gift in it. You can put candy in it. And the bags that I used are just some that I have here to put like pieces in for my classes when I'm going to ship them. And I just cut that piece off at the top, and they're kind of a soft, pliable, and put my candies in there and then tied it shut. So there you go. Thank you for joining me for my 4th day of the 12 days of Christmas. I almost said Halloween. And so I hope you have a wonderful day, and until next time, happy stamping.